Hope I'm audible to everyone and hope you can hear me, hope you can see me. And today is 23rd October 2025. And today we'll do again because it is 23rd October, so obviously we'll do Hindu analysis of 23rd October, right? So just give me a second, guys. Let me see if you can see me, if you can hear me. Hope you can see. Good morning, Kirija. So yes, Hindu analysis 23rd October 2025. And let's start the discussion. My name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my Telegram channel. You can join it. I will upload this particular Hindu analysis PDF by 9:30 a.m. Cool. And yesterday I gave you people, good morning Gajanan, good morning Harshni, good morning everyone. So yesterday I gave you people this question, MCQ 11. Angmo, wife of Sonam Wangchuk, alleged that her personal freedom was restricted while visiting her husband under NSA detention. So which constitutional provision did she invoke in her plea? 14, 19, 19, 21, 21, 22, 19, 22. So what is the answer, guys? And Chepandi is fast. So Sonam Wangchuk, Harshini has given the answer. The answer is B. Let me see whether I can. Good morning, Gajanan. Good morning. Yeah, I can hear myself. So as Harshini and Gajanan stated, Article 19 and 21. Very good, yeah. Then let's move on to the next question related to NSA, National Security Act 1980. So ma'am's husband is booked under NSA 1980. Today we'll also talk about that. We'll also talk about Article 371 and how Article 371 is different from 6th schedule. Why people of Ladakh, Leh Ladakh, they want 6th schedule and not 371. So there are so many things which we have to talk about. Kirija has also given the answer. Very good, yeah. MCQ 12. What is the answer of MCQ 12? NSA allows preventive detention of a person up to 12 months without trial. This we have discussed yesterday. Yes, this is correct. If this is correct, first is correct, you will eliminate C option. You are left with A, B, and D. Detainees under NSA have full access to legal counsel. No, that is not correct. They don't have full access. That is a basic premise. If you see the first statement, if they have full access, why will they not go on trial? Without trial means they don't have full access. Their access to so many things are restricted to a greater extent, so to say. So second is wrong. If second you eliminate, you're left with B option. That's it. 1 and 3 only. Detention under NSA. This also we have discussed yesterday when we were talking about Angmo ma'am and how she has been surveilled. And this is not a new phenomena. If you see the track record of people who may have surveyed Angmo ma'am, they have done this surveillance thing earlier also in Gujarat. There was a lady, girl, she was very close to, at that time, Gujarat CM, and she was put under surveillance by the Home Minister of Gujarat at that particular point of time. If you do research, Google research, you will understand. So this surveillance thing is nothing new. It has been done in the past and it will happen in the future, the way things are going. So where were we? Yeah, Harshini has given the answer. Kirija has given the answer. Cool. OMG, exactly. So good morning, Shipurna. Good morning, everyone. So let's move on. So MCQ 11, MCQ 12, both answer is 12th C. No, 12th is not C. 12th is C. 12th is B only. 12th is B, Harshini and Kirija. Hope you people are understanding why 12th is B. Where were we? Why you people said C? Detainees under NSA, they have full access. So you're saying 2 and 3 is the answer. It allows preventive detention up to 12 months. That is a basic provision of NSA, and then it can be extended if they want. But for first 12 months. And then second is wrong. So that's why B is the answer. Cool. So everybody got it. Let's move on and let's discuss some more things, guys. Let's come back to the present. First article, generally what we do in our Hindu analysis, we take toughest articles at the start. Toughest articles means which are tricky or which are mains oriented. We generally take it at the start. Doesn't matter whether I'm comfortable with that subject or not. It's for your convenience. So first article, the trickiest article of today, India aims at self-reliance in solar physics, space weather. If you know, go back to my previous Hindu analysis, we have talked about Gaganyaan 2. We have talked about Gaganyaan 2. And in Gaganyaan 2, sorry, I'm saying Gaganyaan, Chandrayaan 2. We have talked about Chandrayaan 2, how Chandrayaan 2 has first observed the impact of CME on lunar exosphere. CME, revise that thing, guys. Anybody, do you remember when we have discussed this whole Chandrayaan 2 thing? OMG, yeah. Chandrayaan 2 thing, that Chandrayaan 2 has studied the impact of coronal mass ejection on lunar exosphere. Coronal mass ejection was what? Sun's outer sphere or outer part is known as corona, and they emit plasma, ionized gas. They emit magnetic charge particles. So all these things impact us, impact Earth, leads to formation of aurora, distorts our telecommunication system. We have seen how it impacts lunar exosphere. Chandrayaan 2 has seen that day before yesterday, as Gajanan is saying. Cool. So now again, but we don't know much about these CMEs, that coronal mass ejection or other types of solar flares. So we have to understand, because we know how much impact solar or sun has on Earth, or it is the source of all life and powers. Modern technology, solar flares, CMEs, etc., cause space weather that impact satellites, communication, power grids. So we need to know more about this. There is something called as Aditya 11. We have launched this, and it is observing sun, and it is at a Lagrange point or Lagrange point 1. Now we have to understand these terms, and before we talk about all these things, first of all, let's try to understand these technical terms. So Aditya L1, UPSC has already asked a PYQ on it. Solve that PYQ. Launched in September 2023. They can ask you the launch here. It is India's first solar observatory. Now this is at Lagrange point 1. What is this Lagrange point 1? For understanding this, we have to understand certain technical terms. So there are 5 Lagrange points. L1, L2. Our Aditya L1 is here. So this is sun. Not sun. This is sun. This is Earth. The bigger one. This is Earth. This is Moon. So basically, what happens at Lagrange point? See, all these bigger objects, they will try to attract you. In our time, there used to be a song, aja, aja, that means come closer to me, come closer to me, come closer to me. So sun has a gravitational pull. Sun is pulling objects towards itself. Earth has a gravitational pull. Earth is pulling objects towards itself. So these are gravitational pull. Then there's something known as centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. So what is a centrifugal force? So let's say there is this object, like there is sun, and then there is an object which is orbiting around the sun. So this is let's say a body, celestial body, M1. So M1 is moving around the sun is pulling it closer, that please come close to me. So sun is pulling, and this object is moving towards sun because sun is pulling. Then there is another force which applies when an object moves in a circular path, elliptical path, which is outward, which is known as centrifugal force. So when centrifugal force becomes equals to gravitational pull, then the object will not be moving towards the sun. It will keep on doing its circular path. Let's say the gravitational pull is more than centrifugal force, and you want this particular object to remain in this particular orbit, then you have to give it more and more fuel. So these Lagrange points, these are strategic points. These like 5 points, these are strategic points. How? Like, if there is an object like Aditya L1 is here, so here gravitational pull of Earth and sun, they are there. So all these objects comes to zero. Let's say L1 is there, sun will try to pull it towards itself, Earth will try to pull it towards itself. Then there will be another force which will be balancing it out. So let's say that force is acting outward, centrifugal force. So all these forces balance each other out, and the resultant force is zero. So now if the resultant force is plus towards sun, the object will move towards sun. So you need more fuel to ensure that this is going in there in its own orbit. Again, forget about L1. It is somewhat complicated. Think from L4 perspective. Sun is pulling it towards itself. There is a centrifugal force which is acting outward. These two forces balance each other out, and L4 will keep on moving in this orbit without going closer to the sun, and it will keep on following trajectory. So these are again strategic points. Force towards inwards, that is centripetal force, Kirija. Force outward, that is centrifugal force. So again, do remember these things. They are very important. Stable equilibrium, as Shipurna is stating. So L1, our Aditya is at L1. Now L4, L5 and sun, if you join them together, what will happen? They will form an equilateral triangle. Pardon my handwriting, but when you will draw, it will form an equilateral triangle. Just remember these things, because question has already been asked on Aditya L1. It can be asked in mains also. So whenever they give you this question, you have to make this particular diagram. It will fetch you 1 extra marks in mains, and every half 1 marks counts when it comes to mains. So again, solar flares, etc., are emitted by sun. We don't know how and when they will be emitted. We have limited knowledge, so we need knowledge. Aditya L1 will give us some knowledge. Now the question here is how solar flares and CME, they are different from each other. So solar flares, they will release plasma, they will release, that is, ionized gas, they will release magnetic particles. Mainly we are talking about magnetic particles, etc. On the other hand, solar flares, they emit electromagnetic radiation. In simple terms, you will understand it like energy. They will emit X-rays, ultraviolet rays, gamma rays, etc., etc. So they emit electromagnetic radiations predominantly. So that's what separates solar flares and coronal mass injections primarily. There can be other differences, other technical differences, but this is one particular difference which you have to keep in mind. Cool. So now understanding solar activities, blah blah blah, you can read all these things. So major challenge include why we have to study, because it impacts our communication, navigation, power grid, etc. And we have poor understanding of all these coronal mass injection or solar flares. Cool. Important thing, guys, Aditya L1. What is Lagrange point? Or Lagrange point where gravitational pull of Sun and Earth, they are balanced by the centrifugal force of the body. So stable point between Earth and Sun captures high resolution image and spectra of solar atmosphere. You can read all these things. So there are 5 points. Now scientists are suggesting deploying more aircrafts at different points, different L1 to L5 or L4 L5 points. We don't have to do PhD here. We don't have to do the acute angle, obtuse angle thing here. Just understand what are these Lagrange points, what are they doing. They're observing Sun. Why observation of Sun is important? Because they're ejecting solar flares, coronal mass ejection, which impacts us in so many different ways, and that's why we need to study. And we are studying them at 5 different points. L1, Aditya L1 is there. Aditya, our observatory is at L1. Cool. But they are far apart. You may feel like they are very close. No, they are very far apart. So data transmission delay is there from 30 million kilometer. If you talk about L4 and L5. Now again, let's have a look at this. L1 is here, closer to Earth, but L4 and L5, they're far away from Earth. So there will be a data transmission delay when information are coming from L4 and L5. So keep these particular points in mind, guys. They are very important. Cool. So now let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Ground-based solar facility. India also wants to build this NLST solar telescope so that we can study things. But this is a 2-meter class telescope and it cannot be, for space deployment, it is too big. So we want to launch it from ground, proposed by IIA. Again, you don't need to do PhD. This article is telling you that India is doing things. We have 229 early career researchers, faculty members, blah, blah, blah. We need more members, more faculties, because solar, even next editorial which you will see, that is associated with Sun in some way or the other. So solar research is paramount, even if you want to tap solar energy, so to say. In the next 15 years, India has to develop these things, and private sector participation is very much needed. How much government money can sustain these kind of models? So you need certain amount of private sector participation. That's what they are talking about. Cool. Have a look at this. We have discussed the basic gist associated here, and that is important. Let's solve some question. MCQ 1. Consider the following statement regarding Lagrange points in the Sun-Earth system. So L1 lies between Earth and Sun and is ideal for continuous solar observation. L4 and L5 form an equilateral triangle with Earth and Sun. What is the answer, guys? L1 lies between Earth and Sun, ideal for continuous solar observation. L4 and L5 form an equilateral triangle with Earth and Sun. So Shipurna, Harshini, Rishi, Kirija. So what we have discussed, L1 does lie between Earth and Sun. So first is correct. If first is correct, your B and D is gone. L4 and L5, they form an equilateral triangle. Yes, that is also correct. If you see this, you will see L4 and L5, they indeed form an equilateral triangle. So L4 and L5, I've just shown you that L4, L5 and Sun, they form an equilateral triangle. So both the statements are correct and the answer is C. Again, a tough question, a tricky question. So the answer is C, both. As stated by Shipurna, Harshini also tried it. Harshini, are you understanding why A is not the answer and C is the answer? A is the answer. Oh my god, you people are diverting so much. L4, L5, they do form equilateral triangle. So all the statements are correct. The answer is C, as stated by Shipurna, Kirija, and Gajanan. Other people who are answering A, hope you are understanding why A is not the answer and C is the answer. Okay, I can understand why you people got confused with the Earth and the Sun. So eliminate the Earth part, just the Sun part. L4 and L5 form an equilateral triangle with Sun. Earth part is the wrong part. Again, if we see even Earth, let's have a look at the Earth, whether L4 and L5 is forming an equilateral triangle with Earth or not. They are forming an equilateral triangle with Earth also, guys. So even if you don't eliminate Earth, it's fine. L4, L5 equilateral with Earth, L4, L5 with Sun. In both the scenarios, they are forming equilateral triangle. For people who don't have knowledge about equilateral triangle is a triangle in which all sides are equal. But I think all of you know that three sides are equal. So again, the answer is C, C, C. But sir, 4 points cannot make a triangle. No, we are talking about them. Yes, obviously they cannot make a triangle. These are two separate scenarios. So yeah, maybe we can add respectively here. I can understand the conundrum of Shipurna. Okay, so how equilateral? Hope you're understanding Harshini and other people. I can understand the conundrum of these two guys, like Shipurna and Harshini. Cool, cool, cool. Let's move on. Separately, guys, separately, not together. Indian solar mission Aditya L1 is stationed at L1 to do what? Observe Earth's magnetosphere, monitor solar activity moving towards Earth, detect deep space objects beyond solar system, study moon surface. Okay, so Harshini has given the answer, monitor solar activity moving towards Earth. Cool. Let's move on. What again? Why C here? What is C? Detect deep space objects beyond solar system. L1 is for solar, study. Things related to solar study, guys. What is the primary work? Monitor solar activity. That is the primary work. Hope you're understanding. So B. Next article, again related to sun only, but somewhat simpler, solar power. India is the third largest producer of solar power. Awesome. But then what are the issues associated with generation of solar power? That's what this article is talking about. And then we are exporting our solar equipments. We are exporting it to US and not many other countries. Why? Because China is dominating that export market of solar modules. So there are certain scenarios. We are doing good, but we can do better, and we have to do better if we want to achieve our 2030 target when it comes to solar energy. What is that? I will show you the points. First of all, let's focus why we are doing good, but even then our export is not doing much better, because China has massive economies of scale. Economies of scale means they are making these things at a much cheaper price, so that's why what is happening, India is exporting 4 gigawatt of solar modules. See how much China is exporting. So there are multiple challenges involved here in this solar setup of ours. Multiple mains question has already been asked by UPSC related to this, so you have to be ready for it. So let's have a look at this. So domestic achievement, India has successfully cultivated a domestic solar power industry over the past decade. So we have done this. Good. Cost advantage, solar power has become cheaper per unit than coal power from 2017 onwards. Again, a much, like generally what happens when you talk about solar energy, when you talk about wind energy, etc., you talk about how expensive they are. But now solar energy is not expensive, so everything is looking hunky dory for us. We are the third largest producer, surpassing Japan. So Japan is at the fourth number, and this is not the first time when we are reading about this third largest producer thing. We have done or studied about this earlier as well, now only behind China and US. Manufacturing growth, if you see this, solar module manufacturing increased 50 times in the last 10 years, 2 gigawatt to 100 gigawatt. These numbers, see what will happen, we will see a mains question related to these things, and there's for substantiation part, if you have to substantiate your answer, you have to add some points, and that's why we are talking about these particular points. So hope you are understanding where we are going with this. So climate commitments, 2030 target, again, if something keeps on coming every second day, third day, fourth day, that means it is very important. So we know we want to achieve 50% of India's total power from non-fossil fuel by 2030, and according to that thing, like 500 gigawatt total non-fossil fuel, NF, and out of that, almost more than 50% has to come from solar. The way we are going, will not be able to achieve it. For achieving 250 to 80 gigawatt from solar, we need to go by 30, or we need to add additional 30 gigawatt solar energy every year. How much we are adding? See this, 17 to 23. So there is a gap here, and for fixing that gap, we have to do something. And what something? That's what we are talking about. Okay, sir. And then the challenges part, higher domestic costs. India solar modules are costlier, and that's why China is beating us and beating us by 60 times or more. So, again, a very harrowing fact if you see this. Harrowing is not the right word, but yes, China is much way ahead of us when it comes to export of solar modules. Plus, there are too many restrictions currently in the market because of US and its tariff policy. So we need to expand our market. Which country or continent can be our market? Africa. Africa, there is so much arid land, So there are such areas where they are not doing anything with their land, but they have opportune amount of solar energy. So we can use that and we can install solar power pumps there, and they can become our export destination, so to say. So with rising domestic manufacturing capacity, India may face market saturation. Saturation means we need new export market. US is done and dusted, and generally China is dominating US market there because of economies of scale, etc. Africa has, we have a lot of soft power in Africa, and we have to develop Africa as a target market because Africa uses only 4% of its arable land for irrigation and opportunity for solar power pumps. So we have one particular scheme which we run, which is known as KUSUM, Kishan Urja Suraksha Evam Utthan Mahabhiyan, which aims to install solar power pumps, and which aims to, like, solar power pumps will do what? Irrigation. Generally, in India, 50% of net zone area under rent-fed irrigation. So we want to give them irrigation capabilities. Solar power pumps will ensure that, and it will also ensure that you are generating electricity using solar power. So in a way, that is solar power pumps. So KUSUM, Kishan Urja Suraksha. We have talked about this. There is another scheme which is known as Surya Ghar scheme, which aims to install solar rooftops. So we can extend this KUSUM scheme to Africa. We can provide them irrigation, which they need via these solar power pumps. So that is an opportunity for us, this whole scenario. So domestic scheme and global models, domestic scheme, PM KUSUM. Remember it, what is the full form of it? And homework is find out the launch year of KUSUM. If you know it, post it in the comment section. Solar energy for rural farmers. Surya rooftop solar. If you want to install rooftop solar in your house, government will give you subsidies. Way forward. India must diversify export market. US cannot be the only market because, again, so many things are going on. Strengthen competitiveness. We have to make cheaper modules, play the role of credible second supplier after China. We will be a second supplier only, but let's bridge the gap. This gap is actually too huge. 4 gigawatt and 236 means 236 gigawatts. So we have to bridge this particular gap. That's what this article is talking about. Cool, sir. Now, see this particular question. Discuss the growth of India's solar power sector and its challenges in achieving 2030 renewable energy targets. So you can talk about the growth of India's solar power sector. We have surpassed Japan, third largest producer, all these things. Good thing. So that is the growth part. And then, like in the intro part, you can talk about India's solar energy after 2017. The cost has reduced compared to power generated from coal. So these whole things will be in the body part, the growth part. And in the challenges part, you will talk about how our solar modules are expensive, how China is dominating export market, how we will not be able to achieve 2030 renewable energy target of solar energy, 250 to 80 gigawatt from solar, because we are not adding that much. For adding that much, we have to do a lot of things, and we have to improve economy of scale. We have to make our solar energy somewhat more cheaper, and all these things we have to do. So you have to talk about this. You have to divide your answer into two parts: growth and the challenges part. And then in intro, you can talk about anything. You can define what is solar power derived from solar energy, this and that. So intro part, India has made significant strides, surpassed Japan. And then in the growth part, installed solar capacity 100. And here, generally people, say that, sir, why should we remember numbers? In mains answer, if you don't substantiate, as we have just discussed, your answer with examples, your example will just be a moot point, whatever you are using, whatever things you are writing. So you have to substantiate. So sometimes you do need these numbers. So again, not exactly this number, but yes, this one and this one is important. Production cost, India's module cost 1.52, two times more than Chinese module. Export competitiveness is much way behind than China. And the way we are going, we will not be able to achieve 250 to 80 gigawatt from solar energy by 2030. So we have to add 30 gigawatt annually. For that, we can, do PM KUSUM, we can expand KUSUM, we can expand Surya Ghar scheme, we can do all these things. Market saturation. We have to look beyond US. We have to tap Africa as a market. And that is one of our strategy. And all these things we have discussed. Have a look at this. And this will give you and again, solve multiple mains questions on solar energy, guys. Multiple mains questions have been asked by UPSC. Multiple mains questions on solar energy. So solve them. Cool. Now let's solve some questions. MCQ 3. Which of the following are challenges faced by India's solar manufacturing industry? Domestic solar modules are costlier than Chinese modules. India export more solar modules than China. And I can use read all statements, use option elimination. Read all statements, use option elimination. That will help you. So Harshini has given the answer. We know for sure that second is wrong, right? India does not export more solar modules than China. So this statement is wrong. If second is wrong, you eliminate second and you will get the answer C, 1 and 3 only, as stated by Harshini, Rishi, Kirja and Gajanan. Very good, yeah. Cool. MCQ 4. PM Kusum and PM Suryaghar schemes are aimed at what? Annie has also given the answer. Very good, yeah. So Harshini, Rishi, Kirija, Gajanan, Annie, Shipurna. So PM Kusum, PM Suryaghar, they are aimed at what? Harshini, Shipurna, Rishi, Gajanan, Kirija, all of you have given the answer. PM Kusum, PM Suryaghar are aimed at promoting rural irrigation and urban rooftop solar generation respectively. MCQ 5 or PYQ 5, which is based on UPSC 2014. And again, this is a question like, when I search for solar and then this particular question appeared. Try to solve it. It's a linked question based on what we have just studied. Why we are focusing so much on solar? Because we want to reduce global warming. There's too much carbon emission from coal-led sources. And what will happen? We don't want our temperature to go beyond 3 degrees Celsius. But what will happen if temperature go beyond 3 degrees Celsius, our pre-industrial levels? So have a look at these statements. Use option elimination, guys. Don't fear it because, oh my God, this is so tricky. 4 statements, read all, remove extreme statements. Remove extreme statements. Am I audible? This is so tricky. Okay. So Shripurna and Harshini, they have given the answer. Rishi, how can it be possible? Okay. So Shripurna, Harshini, Rishi, Kirija. Okay. All of you have given the answer. So now, one thing I will never understand. 6, 7 answers I have got. And in chats, I'm seeing that only 2 people are watching. What has happened with YouTube today? So scientific view is that increase in global temperature. See, we have to use or remove extreme statements, right? So widespread coral mortality. Am I stuck? I'm see UPS like YouTube creates confusion for me. So again, see this. All global wetlands would permanently disappear. So if 1 degree temperature increase happens, so all global wetlands will permanently disappear. Don't you think this is just too extreme? Eliminate it. So if we eliminate third, we are left with A and B. Fourth, we don't even need to check. Second, widespread coral mortality will occur. We have talked about coral reefs. We have talked about polyps. Coral polyps, zooxanthellae, and what is the relationship between them. All these things we have had a discussion. So we know, yes, higher temperature will lead to coral mortality and destruction of barrier means different types of coral reefs. So we had this discussion. We know this is true. So the answer is B, as stated by Harshini, then Rishi, then Kirija, then Shipurna. Any also tried it. Gajanan also tried it. Any, hope you understood why second is the answer. Do revise previous Hindu analysis. We have talked about coral polyps. We have talked about zooxanthellae and what is the relationship between them, symbiotic relationship, what happens. And when there is too high temperature, then coral polyps, or zooxanthellae, they release these coral polyps. and then what happens? They lose their color, they lose their texture. So yes, temperature matters for them. So second is correct. Good question, tricky question, but you should be solving. No, 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 no. In this particular state question, there is a statement: terrestrial biosphere tends towards a net carbon source. Many people will be like, and this will be true for UPSC also, guys. There will be questions where you will not know anything. Many of you may not know what is the meaning of this particular statement. But even if you don't know, you can solve this question by option elimination. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, don't be fearful that, oh my God, this question has been asked, this is so tricky. Don't have that particular thinking. Just think what is wrong, eliminate it, you will get the answer. In UPSC exam, this is a reality, guys. Out of 100 questions, for sure, even if you do Hindu analysis every day for next 1 year with me, everything I cover it, the best possible way in our country. I know I'm the best. I keep on telling you, people say 5 things, I'm the best, I can do it, God is always with me, today is my day, I'm a winner. So again, so what I'm even then what will happen, you will not know 30 more than 30-35 questions for sure. 30-35 questions will be there which you will know for sure that yes, this is the answer. For rest 70 or 65 questions, you have to do option elimination, you have to deduce answer one way or the other. So this is one way. Now this was the statement, this was the first option: terrestrial biosphere tends to a net carbon source. What is the meaning of this? Terrestrial biosphere tends towards a net carbon source. Land ecosystems are absorbing more carbon than they emit. Land ecosystems are releasing more carbon than they absorb. Oceans are releasing more carbon than land. Carbon emission from fossil fuel. Take a guess. I know I have not told you the basic meaning of that statement, but take a guess based on the way this UPSC PYQ was framed. What can it mean? Terrestrial biosphere tend towards a net carbon source. In previous Hindu analysis, again, if you go, we have talked about mitigation strategy, sequestration strategy, what is a carbon sink, all these things. We had a basic discussion. So Harshini, Rishi, Shripurna, they have given the answer. Land ecosystem releasing more carbon than they absorb. That is the basic meaning here. Tend toward a net carbon source. If the temperature increases, so what is happening? More and more carbon is being emitted into the environment. So that means your land ecosystem is emitting more carbon than they are absorbing. So that is the basic rationale. Very good here, Harshini, Rishi, Shripurna, and Gajanan. Let's move on to next. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word, guys. We'll talk about these things later on. Now, next article, page number 1, Ladakh talks. MHA offers key provision under Article 371. So there are talks going on. We know Sonam Wangchuk sir, he is in Rajasthan jail under NSA and all these things. Many people are not very happy about it, me included. But again, we have to respect government's decision and whatever it is. So now they are talking with the local body. Again, if you go back to previous discussion on this, there are different local bodies in Leh and Kargil. Government is having talks with them, and they are like, we will, or we can implement Article 371. On the other hand, in the previous discussion which we had on Ladakh, we are talking about how the representatives of Ladakh earlier, the local bodies, including Sonam Wangchuk sir, they were talking about inclusion of Ladakh under 6th schedule and statehood, all these things. So even though state MHA is talking about Article 371, these Sonam Wangchuk sir is not there. The other people, the local representative, they are saying that no, sir, we don't want Article 371. We want 6th schedule and we want statehood. Why? What is the basic difference between 371 and 6th schedule? This is what you have to understand. Why they are saying no to 6th schedule? So for understanding this, we'll talk about this whole topic. So Article 371 and various clauses of 371, you will see it applies to different states. Like when we talk about 6th schedule, you have to understand it in a comparative manner, then only you can connect the dots. So 6th schedule, 80 mm, Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram. And in 6th schedule, what happens? There are autonomous tribal councils which are created. And the power is such of these autonomous tribal councils, they are virtually like mini states in themselves. They can, guide police, they can make their own laws, guide police, tackle, like they can tell police what to do, what not to do. They will make their laws on forests, etc. So they have too much power, guys, in Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram, these autonomous tribal council. On the other hand, when you talk about this Article 371, its applicability in certain portions of Nagaland, Assam, Manipur. Now tell me one thing, based on this, is Tamil Nadu covered under Article 371? Any provision? 371B, C, D, whatever you are seeing here. Just give me a second. So is Tamil Nadu covered under this or not? So this is giving you some amount of discretion in certain affairs when you talk about article 371, and it is written here also, like in Andhra Pradesh, reservation in jobs, education, special university for development. For that you have these provisions where Andhra Pradesh can do whatever they want to do. Like currently Telangana has given 42% reservation, etc. This is not about Telangana, I'm just telling you there are specific provisions where these states have their own things, they can do their own things separate from rest of the India. Mizoram government's governor's role in religious and social matters. Mizoram, 86% or more than 80% population Christian. So it's about specific areas. In Article 71 or their sub clauses, the power is not huge as it is in sixth schedule. Yes, so Tamil Nadu is not there under Article 371. Arunachal Autonomous District Council, Goa special provision for legislative council now abolished. Karnataka special provision for Hyderabad Karnataka region earlier. So the power of sixth schedule is much wider compared to Article 371, which is applicable for certain issues. So we are understanding where we are going with this and how these two are different from each other, and that's why the representative of Leh Ladakh, they are not accepting this Article 371. They are like, we want sixth schedule, we want statehood, we want release of Sonam Wangchuk and other prisoners who has been put behind bars. All these things have escalated. Why it has escalated? Because the protest which was happening, in that police officers, and they did not shoot on the foot, they shot people on their chest, etc., leading to killing of a Kargil war veteran. In my post, I have shared that particular shot related to this Kargil war veteran who was killed in the police action during protest in Ladakh. So things have escalated. Maybe government was not expecting this escalation at such national level. So things have escalated, and that's why all these things are going on. So Ministry of Home Affairs, they are saying that we can give you Article 371 provisions under Article 371. The local bodies of Ladakh, Leh Apex Body, Kargil Democratic Alliance, they are like, no, we want full statehood, we want application of sixth schedule. So they rejected Article 371. They want sixth schedule, they want full statehood, they want release of Sonam Wangchuk and other detained protesters. So Article 371, part 21 of the Constitution, they can give you this Article 371 and remember those provisions. Article 371 C, D or E applicable to which particular state. It is tricky. You have to mug it up, but mug it up, guys. They can ask you now because it's now in news. Statement from civil society leader. You can have a look at this. So they are saying that government is thinking about sixth schedule. They're not saying anything, but let's see how things pan out. So we have to do a wait and watch policy when it comes to this particular issue. Let's see MCQ 7. Consider the following statement regarding recent Ladakh civil society demands. Again, read all option, use option elimination. They are seeking inclusion of Ladakh under sixth schedule. They have demanded full statehood for Ladakh. They have accepted Article 371 as sufficient for Ladakh. Purna, Harshini, all of you have given the answer. Cool. So Harshini, Purna, Rishi, Kirija, Gajanan, all of you have given the answer. Third is wrong. They have not accepted Article 371 as sufficient for Ladakh. So if you eliminate third, you will get the answer A, 1 and 2 only. Very good, yaar. MCQ 8 related to what? Like Article 371 related to what? Any has also given the answer. Cool. Article 371 related to protection of tribal areas in northeastern state, temporary, transitional and special provisions for certain state, directive principles of state policy, reservation of seats for SCs and STs in parliament. So Harshini, Rishi, Shripurna, cool. Temporary, transitional, and special provisions for certain states, not northeastern protection. Like this is 80 mm. You have to choose the best possible option, guys. So we know CD is not there. We know you can be confused between A and B. What is the answer? These are temporary provisions, special provisions related to certain issues in certain states. So B is the answer. It's not only confined to northeastern states. We have seen other states are also there. We know even Nagaland, some portion of Nagaland, Arunachal, they are also there in Article 371, different provision, Assam, etc., Mizoram also. But it's not only about northeastern states. Even Goa was there, Andhra Pradesh, and Maharashtra, Gujarat, 371. So all these were there. Cool, cool, cool. Harshini, Rishi, Shipurna, Kirija, Annie, very good. Let's move on to next question. MCQ 9. Which of the following states currently have special provisions under Article 371? Nagaland, Sikkim, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra. So we know Tamil Nadu is not there under Article 371. So if you eliminate Tamil Nadu, fourth, what will happen? You're left with 1, 2, 2, 3. We know Nagaland was there. So what happened here? Oh, Tamil Nadu is not three, not four, guys. So if you eliminate Tamil Nadu, three is gone. If three is gone, you're left with 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 4. Maharashtra was there. So we eliminate third, we are left with D. D is the answer. As stated by Harshini, Shipurna, Kirija, Gajanan, Rishi, and Annie. Very good. Page number 1. Come November 1, Kerala will officially be the first state free of extreme poverty. So again, they anyway had a very less amount of poverty. Poverty rate was around, Kerala was a state with lowest poverty rate in the country, with poverty rate of around 0.7% of total population. So poverty was never like, Kerala is doing so much good. And now tell me one thing. Which SDG talks about poverty? Kerala officially free. Remember this from pre-perspective, like from not UPSC will not ask you this which state become free of extreme poverty, etc. Other exam will can ask you, or they have already asked these kind of factual question. Important from UPSC perspective is poverty comes under which SDG? Poverty. If you're reading about poverty, where we will write this in mains answer, GS mains paper 2, poverty, hunger, all these things are there in your GS mains paper 2. So there you can talk about extreme poverty, and in this they are finding, they're searching people, who are poor according to different definitions. So Pinarayi Vijayan sir is saying that the state will be free from extreme poverty, and you can see all these things. We are not reading who is coming, who is not. Now Kerala has already lowest poverty rate at 0.7% of its population according to Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India. uh, 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 SDG 1. Very good, Kirija. Very good, Annie. Very good, Rishi. So, least poverty rate, 0.7% of the population. Now, what government has done, they identified 64,000 families as extremely poor, and they worked on their food, health, livelihood, and shelter. It's very good. You will realize, I keep on coming at this. Kerala is very free from religion based politics. Some parties which do religion based politics, they get zero seats there. They have national presence, but almost zero presence in Kerala. Now they want to bring religion-based politics in Kerala also. How? We'll talk about Sabrimala issue. So there is another article which is related to Kerala today, that is Sabrimala, and it was there on two pages, Hindu 1, Hindu 7. So we'll try to see how I don't know which political party, but one particular political party wants to bring religion based politics because they are getting almost zero seats in Kerala from last 30, 40 years. And why Kerala is not doing religion based politics? Because they're focused more on these bad issues, eliminating poverty, taking care of health, etc. Because they feel like poverty, health, education, all these things matter more than religion. Religion is actually a tool to divide people, and these things will help more. But not many states think that way. They're like, no, religion is much more important than health, education, and all. So inclusion of marginalized individuals, they found people who are lacking houses, land, etc., and then they provided them, and that's how they're going to eliminate poverty. And that's why there are many foreigners, like there is a guy called Richard Gere and others, who comes to India, like God's own country, comes to India and they visit only Kerala, and then they go back. They don't go to any other part of the India. I'm not saying other part of India is bad. I'm just saying Kerala is awesome. I'm not from Kerala. I'm not a Malayali. I know. Like I was in Hyderabad. So what generally happens? Malayali people, they will gel with other Malayali people. So what I used to do, I used to act as an intermediary. I used to make one Malayali meet another Malayali. That is there. That will always be there. They're very proud of their culture, like Tamilian people and all. But yes, they're awesome. And now efforts have been made to say that they are Maoists, they are Naxalists, they are this, they are that, because they are so good. They are actually good. So success is attributed to cooperation. You can read all these things, whatever we have discussed. India's poverty percentage is 5.3%. Very good, Shipurna. So Kerala will become India's first state to eradicate extreme poverty, and this is it should be lauded. Now let's come to the next article. Why religion-based politics is not working in Kerala? Which of the following powers do autonomous? Okay, what is the question? Under okay. Now this question is good. Again, a conceptual question. Will give you clarity. Try to solve this. Which of the following powers do autonomous district council under 6th schedule not exercise? Making laws on land and forest management, controlling means police administration, levying certain taxes within the district, amending Indian constitution. Harshini, Rishi, Shipurna. So six schedule, see how much power they have, and that's why Ladakh want six schedule. They can make law on land and forest, they can control police administration, they can levy certain tax, but they cannot amend Indian constitution. That is too big of a work. Parliament is there for that. So if you eliminate options, you will get the answer. That is D as stated by Harshini, Rishi, Shipurna. You just had to read all option, guys, and you would have arrived at the answer. Very good. MCQ 11. Kerala's eradication of extreme poverty aligns primarily with which sustainable development goal? So Harshini has given the answer. Rishi, Sripurna, Kirija. Very good. You people are so good. Just like a wow. Now, page number one. Why is this page empty? What I told you. Kerala is in news multiple number of times today. So Sabrimala appeared on page one, appeared on page seven. We'll talk about page seven article. But why it appeared on page one? For that, we have to go to page one. Let's go to page one of today's Hindu. So you can see here Draupadi Murmu ma'am carrying Irumudi. They can ask you this particular word, guys. What is Irumudi? This is sacred bundle as she offers prayers at Lord Ayappa temple at Sabrimala in Kerala on Wednesday. She's the second Indian president and first woman head of state to visit the hill shrine. There were other issues earlier also. There was a Sabrimala judgment, which was in news, where the women of menstruating age, 10 to 50 years, they should be allowed to visit Sabrimala temple because it belongs to Lord Ayappa, who is a celibate, who practiced chastity and celibacy. He practiced celibacy. Who is Lord Ayappa? He is the son of Shiva and Vishnu. You may feel like, sir, how can he be the son of Shiva and Vishnu? These two are guys. So he is the son of Shiva and feminine version of Vishnu, which is very, very fascinating, guys. So it was in news. Sabrimala was in news multiple times in the past. It is in news right now also. It was in news from last 10-15 days. I was not covering it because I felt like let's allow things to develop. So why this whole Sabrimala is in news? Because they feel like the Devastam board in Kerala, like they are taking away money. They are doing something not so good. Some money, some they're doing gold plating, etc. Basically, it's extortion of money, or what is the way should I put it? Money is being diverted for non-religious purposes, and which should ideally being used for religious purpose. So there is some amount of corruption which is going on with diversion of money in temples of Kerala, and that's why BJP is raising the issue. See, I'm not saying this should not have been the case. Kerala is so, we know Kerala is awesome. Everybody's like, even if you're awesome, you can have issues. So this can be an issue, and we know Draupadi Murmu ma'am, if she's going there and she's offering her prayer, it has nothing to do with this particular issue because she is totally neutral. Once you become a president, you are not a party representative, so she's a neutral party. We know she has nothing to do with BJP, and BJP did not egg her on to go there. She's neutral party and she's respected president. This is a different news altogether, or maybe these two things are interrelated. We don't know. We are not going there. So Kerala unit, they are saying that there should be an investigation regarding misappropriation and violation in Kerala, including Sabrimala Ayappa temple. So do remember Lord Ayappa, who is he, and celibacy, chastity, and revise. This is your homework. Read about that Sabrimala judgment, 4:1 judgment given by Supreme Court. So there was a talk whether women should be allowed or not allowed. So many things happened regarding that. It became a very landmark judgment. You have to read that and you have to summarize it for me. So again, these things are going on. Money and misappropriation violations in Kerala temples. Maybe this is true, maybe it is not. Revelation of gold theft has happened from Sabrimala, and Sabrimala is a world-renowned temple. Actually, have you people heard about this Sabrimala judgment? Anyone? Or you are hearing it for the first time? So again, they are urging comptroller auditor general to do an audit and all those things. Kerala High Court has already registered a case, but the local party like BJP, they're not very happy. They want more things to be done there. So let's see what happens there. But for our purpose, what is the thing which is important? Where is Sabrimala temple? Who is Lord Ayappa? Why women earlier were not allowed to enter into Lord Ayappa temple and of menstruating age? What was the reason behind that? Who, like, he's the son of whom and whom? All these things are very important from art and culture perspective as well. So interesting article connecting so many different things, guys. MCQ 12, have a look at this question. And these things will happen, in our country. Basically, religion based politics is more important. See, India is awesome. We are like religion first, employment, health, education, all very down. Like first is first, and then religion, employment, health, education, all these are down the ladder. There is no competition. One, it is, you can say it is 10-20. So MCQ 12, again, think about it. We'll discuss it tomorrow at 8 a.m. This is a homework for you. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. And I want to talk to you people about something very serious. You can join this Telegram channel, Fun Study with you. So what has happened and what I am seeing continuously from people is like, sir, and this is a common theme. I will share one particular message by one guy who is an intelligence officer. We have talked about him, and like other people also who are part of my lifetime success bundle and all these things. They're like, sir, we joined 1 lakh program of this institute, we did this and that, but via your current affairs or history series, this and that, we understood more. So then acknowledge it, guys. When you are buying these courses, you're taking help in these courses, that's fine. But when you're buying these courses, when you are donating, you're not only like, don't think other people will donate and this and that. If you are capable, if I'm adding to your knowledge base, donate. Every person is thinking other person will do, and it doesn't mean the person who has donated earlier you will donate again. No, I'm just talking about those people who think everything free is just like that. You know what happens, or what has happened earlier? People who start these initiatives, we will be poached. Many people have already been poached. What is poaching here? Poaching means some other organization, sooner rather than later, some has already contacted me, some will contact me in future, and I'll be forced to work for them. And then what will happen? Some days I'll be taking Hindu, some days I'll be taking their some paid initiative here and there, and then everything will become irregular. So please understand, when I tell you people, these programs will help you in these specific areas. But at the same time, these programs, these donations ensure that this program Hindu analysis goes on. And free thing is not free, guys. I've already told you. You are like, oh my god, that thing is free, that thing is free. Nothing is free in this world. Nothing is free. If something is free, you are the price. You are paying the price. Go for free things here, there, everywhere, and this whole thing will become Panchvarshia Yojana, UPSC preparation. Nothing is free in this world. So if somebody is giving you everything for free, you will not crack, or you will crack UPSC later rather than sooner. Because please understand, you are not understanding things the way you should understand. Two dimensions, two entities are there: time and money. For you, time matters more than money. For me, both the things matter, but you, for especially, this period is important. If for 1 marks or 2 marks you don't clear your pre, the whole thing will start again. So focus more on your time. If you're understanding from me, if you're understanding from A, B, C, D, E, F, take their courses which you feel will help you, rather than that, no, we will take it when it will become free, if whether it becomes free or not. Don't go for these things, guys. Not help you. And again, it will not help anybody, so to say. And you will understand this. The more you gather experience, you will understand these things. ठीक है, Shay? So that's what I wanted to tell you people. And yeah, free, 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 free. Oh, so thank you everyone. Thank you Ashni. Thank you Shipurna. Thank you Gajanan. Thank you Rishi. And take care. Be blessed. Tada. Bye bye.